Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sister, brothers and friends, we are going to say a commentary of verses 57 to 63 of Surah Al-baqarah. So friends, that is God provided them with shadow from clouds in the Sinai peninsula where there was no shelter from the heat of the sun. It should be remembered that the Israelites had left Egypt in their hundreds of thousands in Sinai. There were not even any tents in which they cloud shelter. Never mind proper houses, but for the fact that God by His grace kept the sky overcast of a considerable period. These people would have been scorched to death by the heat of the sun. It has not yet been possible to arrive at any conclusions about the identity of the locality mentioned here. The series of events in the context of which God commanded to enter the city is mentioned belong to the period of the escape of the children of Israel in the Sinai peninsula. It is therefore probably that is place mentioned in this verse is some Sinaitic city, and other plausible suggestion is that it is Shattim, which was located opposite Jericho and the eastern bank of the river Jordan. According to the Bible, the Israelites conquered this town during the last years of the life of Musa. After the conquest, the Israelites become so decadent. The god smote them with a plague from which 24,000 died. God's command was to enter the city not with the arrogance of tyrannical conquerors, but with the humility of men of God in the manner in which the Prophet, peace be upon him, would later enter Mecca at the time of its conquest. As for Hitta, it could either mean that when they entered the town, they should seek God's pardon for their sins of their instead of plundering and massacring people in the wake of their conquest. They would proclaim an amnesty. That rope can still be seen in the Sinai peninsula with the 12 holes of the springs. 12 springs were caused to follow for the Israelites in order to avoid water disputes among their 12 clans. This does not mean that their real fault lay in asking for things which entail cultivation. Instead of availing themselves of manna and quails which they received without any toil, what is implicit here is that rather than being concerned with the great purpose for which they had been brought to the Sinai, they realized the foods which gratified their palates to such a degree to that could not forego them even temporarily. The context of the verse makes it clear that it is not attempting to to detail all the articles of faith in which one should believe of all the principles of Qadri which one should follow in order to merit reward from God. These matters are mentioned elsewhere in their approach palace. The aim of the verse is merely to represent the illustration cherished by the Jews that by virtues of their being Jews, they have a monopoly of salvation. They had long entertained the nation that special and exclusive relationship existed between them and God. They thought, therefore, that all who belonged to their group were predestined to salvation, regardless of their belief and actions, where all non-Jews were predestined to serve as food for hellfire.